Well, 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 well. Riveting, riveting, riveting. The show goes on. The show goes on. It's like EastEnders, isn't it? Coronation Street. Never ending. Never ending. Oh, reform and restore. Like something out of Greek mythology, isn't it? A never-ending struggle between good and evil. Well, we know who the good guy is. There's no doubt about that. Rupert the bear. Rupert the bear's always been a good guy. Peruvian tree frogs, they're poisonous and horrible. Bit like Nigel Farage. Really interesting things happening on what people say is the political right, although I wouldn't consider the Reform Party to be on the right. Actually interesting might be a bit of an understatement. Let's kick off with Reform UK. So what have they been up to? The party's suspended a guy called Tim Montgomery. He was the founder of Conservative Home and a fairly high-profile figure who defected from the Conservatives to Reform. Actually, Conservative Home and I go way, way, way back. They used to have a regular pop at me back in the days of the original Green Arrow. We were always at each other's throats. I did a big expose on them where their offices were interesting. I have to try and dig it out. Anyhow, so I'm well aware of who Tim Montgomery is. Anyhow, so what's Montgomery done? Well, he's publicly criticised Zia Useless, or Mohammed Yusuf, to use his real name, and he's made an even bigger mistake. He's criticised Nigel Farage, the self-appointed chosen one. What did he say? He questioned Farage's decision not to attend the count after his victory in the Clacton by-election. He also criticised aspects of the way the party was being run. Richard Tice, the lapdog, Tice has defended the suspension, saying that political parties can have disagreements, but those disagreements should be behind closed doors. Yeah, a bit like when they went after Rupert Lowe. That was held behind closed doors, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah, perhaps that's the way it should be done. Perhaps these things should be done behind closed doors. Howard Cox perhaps should listen to that advice instead of going public and saying that Rupert Lowe had said that his advisors were being silly. Yeah. No need for him to have said that, even if it was true. That should have been behind closed doors. Anyhow, political parties, serious political parties that wish to form a government, do need discipline. You can't have everybody firing torpedoes at everybody else whenever they disagree. Leave that to outsiders like me. Yeah. There's another argument as well, though, isn't there? If Reform does present itself as a party defending free speech and challenging the political establishment, then suspending prominent members who publicly criticise the leadership is inevitably going to raise questions. It's going to cause videos like this one to be made. And of course, the world is really interested, because it becomes more interesting when you remember what happened between Reform and Rupert Lowe. Perhaps slightly different circumstances, but once again, we find ourselves discussing criticism of Nigel Farage and somebody subsequently finding themselves outside the reform tent. Yeah. Farage pushes anyone out of that tent who threatens his position, doesn't he? Yeah. There he is, the tree frog himself, Farage himself, the man himself. We mustn't forget that the Parliamentary Standards Commission has resumed an investigation into Farage's final financial declarations, including questions surrounding a £5 million personal gift from businessman Christopher Harborne. Perhaps we're not taxing these wealthy people enough if they can afford to give £5 million away. Should anyone like to gift me £5 million, I shall ensure that it is spent very, very wisely. I'll donate it to Restore Britain, but I will include a fee of 2 bottles of Woods' Navy rum. Yeah. Oh, of course, it's only an investigation, isn't it? They're investigating him. I hope it leads to something more, though. But for the moment, there's no proof that Nigel has actually done anything wrong. But it certainly looks like it. And then there's been, what else has there been? Oh yeah, there's been some separate allegations concerning businesses linked to people associated with Reform and Farage. And those involved have denied wrongdoing. What was it Mandy Rice Davis said during the Profumo affair? Well, he would say that. She was quite attractive, Mandy Rice Davis. But the questions surrounding Farage's finances are clearly not disappearing. I think Profumo resigned. Yeah, and then he devoted his life to good causes. He really did rehabilitate himself. I think it was Profumo. I may be wrong, tell me in the comments. But anyhow, the questions surrounding Farage's finances, they're not going to go away. They're not going to disappear. In fact, tonight, Channel 5 on the 22nd of August already, Channel 5 is broadcasting a 1-hour documentary entitled Nigel Farage, Where Does the Money Come From? I might watch that. I might. And that's on at 9:30 in the UK. 21:30, 9:30. Anyhow, don't write off Reform yet. Put the champagne back in the fridge. Or in my case, John Smith beer. Or rum. Yeah, don't announce the death of Reform UK just yet. They're still in the game, sadly. They're holding back Restore Britain, aren't they? They're a dam that's holding back true nationalism and the survival of our country. We've got to break this dam down, guys. We've got to break Reform if this country is to survive. The latest YouGov voting intention figures from the 9th and 10th of August have put Labour on 24%, Reform on 22%, Conservatives on 21%, and Restore Britain still on 4%. I don't take too much notice of these polls, to be honest. So anyhow, despite everything that's going on within Reform, arguments, investigations, political artillery, shells flying everywhere, Reform does continue to remain one of the 3 largest parties in the polling. That's quite important, really, because political parties have a remarkable ability, if you will, to spend weeks trying to destroy themselves, only to discover that their voters haven't received the memo. So what's Rupert doing? Whilst all this is happening, where is Rupert Bear? What's he up to? Well, he's continuing to stake out our own territory. He's producing great policy documents. He's been really vocal on immigration, and so he should, and deportation, and so he should. Oh yeah, and he had some news for us, didn't he, that he dug out? Real important news. He highlighted something really, really interesting and concerning to all of us, concerning the government procurement documents. Seems that the Home Office is preparing new contracts for asylum support and accommodation services. These contracts are currently expected to begin in September 2029 and run until August 2036 and potentially be extended until August 2039. They are making plans for the next 10 years to continue flooding our country with our replacements, with colonizers, with people who hate us, who hate our way of life. It's all part of the WEF plan, really. The globalists. That fellow Bloom put a superb video out about this the other day. I'm going to review it. Don't talk about it, do it, Green Arrow. Anyhow, so Rupert's interpretation is that, and a correct interpretation in my opinion, is that this shows the establishment expects the present asylum problem to continue for many, many years. Well, we haven't got many, many years to save this country. Demographics and democracy is going to destroy it. There was an election the other day, another Muslim councillor elected, who was runner-up, an Indian. So it was the Muslims against the Sikhs, and the Muslims won on this occasion. They've probably got the larger demographic in that area. Anyhow, so that document, yeah, what does it show? Well, it shows that they are planning to keep illegal immigration going until at least 2039. Accommodation, transport, welfare, services, free healthcare, free dental care, interpreters, teach them English. All in the same week we find this out that they announced another, £13 billion in foreign aid. That's brown envelopes for the globalists. Some of us, you can all draw your own conclusions about why the government are doing this. Why they think they need these services for another 13 years. Yeah, that's to finish off the British people. Yeah, Rupert done well to find that out, didn't he? I think he did. What else? Oh yeah. Remember that length of barbed wire with 5 points on that Rupert offered to work with Nigel with? Some silly people thought it was an olive branch. Funny, that was funny. Some people got excited. They thought this was a unification of the right. There is only one right, and they're in Restore Britain. That's where the British nationalists are, the nationalists. Yeah, and there was a bit of a mix-up, Farage telling porcupines over the phone call. Yeah. Olive branch turned into firewood, didn't it? Yeah. No, there was never going to be any serious negotiations between Reform and Restore. What is correct though, what is right, is that, and this may just be my own opinion, but the political right in Britain, we do now have substantial electoral support. Not enough, but those numbers are growing. Thing is, you've got Reform, Restore, Conservatives, a host of other smaller movements. We're all competing for many of the same voters. Restore has established itself now, that's for sure. More and more people are talking about it. More and more people are becoming members. Rupert's got no intentions of going away. No more than I have. I might want to quit being a YouTuber and do something else, but I'm not going to walk away from this fight. This fight is important. I'm fighting for the future of my great-granddaughter. Sadly, against many of our women. Not all, but there's some crazy white British women. Well, if they're British, they are white. We got some crazy women spreading out, don't say that, spreading out the welcome blanket for those who would replace their men. Make a separate video. The Conservatives, what's left of the Conservatives, are hoping that Restore and Reform will destroy each other and they can pick up the pieces. Well, they'll wait a long time for Restore to break, that's for sure. Labour Party's over the moon with it all. They're watching the votes on the right being split, or what they class as the right. Yeah. What is the question? Will either of them decide that defeating their political opponents is more important than defeating each other? Because if Rupert doesn't win, the biggest winner from this battle is going to be someone who's not actually fighting in it. Oh well. I got things to do. Okay guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, the Green Arrow, finishing off with its usual aim high, vote low, restore Britain, follow the bear. See you on the next one.